Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, or good night to you all. It's Vlogtober Day, psych. I'm really sorry that I'm a failure. Today I thought I'd give you guys a list of everything I watched in October, mostly everything. So I've divided it up into 3 different lists. There's one list of movies I've never seen and watched in October. Then there's a list of movies I have seen and rewatched in October because they're like my October staples. And then there's a list of shows I watched in October. So let's start with the list of movies that I had never watched that I watched in October. Number 1, Midsummer. Midsummer, beautiful, beautiful film. I originally went in with high expectations because I remember when the trailers first came out and I was so excited about it. It looked so good. Same guy who made Ari Aster, I think is his name, made Hereditary, which is one of my favorite horror films right now, and he didn't disappoint. Number 2, Joker. Obviously I had to go see Joker, and it was so good. Joaquin, made for the role, born for it. Okay, who are the other guys? Okay, no disrespect to Heath Ledger. In the Tall Grass. Now, I had high expectations for this. I love Stephen King adaptation movies. It was good. It was up there. It's number 3. The next is Fractured. Fractured is a new Netflix original movie about this guy. I don't even want to tell you. It's a mind twist, okay? It's really, really, really good. And I kind of assumed what was going to happen in the end, but it's one of those that of course, you're thinking, okay, I know there's a plot twist. And then once the twist comes, you're like, okay, wait. I didn't know it was going to be that twist. That's a little more twisted than the twist I had in my head. You know what I'm saying? Maybe that was just me. Next is Dark Places. It has a slow burn. It stars Charlize Theron. I know I'm saying her name wrong. And Chloe Grace Moritz. 2 very popular actresses. And they did good. I just don't like Charlize's character. I know I'm butchering her name. But the story itself and then the plot twist, I'm a sucker for a good old plot twist, you know what I'm saying? But you don't get to it until the very end of the last act. So next is Headcount, which is kind of like a teen horror type film. Y'all are overlooking Headcount because it was actually alright. I mean, it wasn't the best, of course. The story was cool and the low budget special effects that they did use were great. They used it to their advantage, if that makes sense. Next on my list is The Open House. It stars Dylan Minnette, who plays Clay Jensen on 13 Reasons Why. I also got to see him live a couple weeks ago. He's in the band The Wallows. That was cool. But The Open House, not so cool. Sorry, bro. I was avoiding watching it for a very, very, very long time because I don't know, it just looked a little dry just from the cover photo. Maybe somebody thinks that Dylan Minnette sucks as an actor, but I don't think he's bad. I think they just typecast him for the shy but can pop off at any time type guy, and that's what he does in everything I've seen him in. Number 8 on my list, don't hate me, is Zombieland 2 Double Tap. And I haven't watched the first Zombieland in a really long time, and I figured I didn't have to rewatch it to watch Double Tap, which I know I didn't, but I don't remember Zombieland 1 being that corny. It was so corny. Oh my god. Oh, no. I think they were just relying on making the movie's box office sales based off solely that they have this cult following, from the first movie that came out 10 years ago. So, of course, people are going to be excited about it. They're like, oh yeah, I love Zombieland way back then when we had, Superbad and stuff like that, Pineapple Express, things like that fell under that realm of comedy. But that comedy, style doesn't really work anymore. That exact style doesn't work anymore in 2019. It has, even Seth Rogen and, James Franco, they've revamped that comedy style. They've made it brand new. But the Zombieland Double Tap felt like it was straight out of 2009, and that's not good. At the end of my new movie list that I watched this month, in October, would be Child's Play. Chucky haunted me probably for like 5 years of my childhood. I made myself not be afraid of dolls. So at this point in my life, 23 years old, I'm like, oh my God, Child's Play. Yes, iconic, love it. I was so excited to watch Child's Play. I did not watch it in theaters because I did not like the style of the doll. I thought he looked crazy. He looked like a botched, you know what I'm saying, like plastic surgery type Chucky. That was a comedy, honey. I don't know what. And if it was a comedy, it was a bad one. It wasn't funny. I mean, it wasn't scary or funny. Okay, so I've been talking about this. I've been talking about how much I hated Child's Play, and I guess the bots on Instagram like tapped in and saw me talking trash about it. So I got served an Instagram story ad that said Stephen King said Child's Play 2019 is one of the best films of 2019, and he loved it. And I was like, well, he lied, okay? I'm pretty sure Stephen King didn't say that, and if he did, someone check on him. He needs medication. That was a terrible film, all right? This next list, I'm just gonna fly by pretty quickly. It's my list of films that are my October staples that I just kind of always watch around spooky time. Number 1, Sweeney Todd, The Demon Barber of Fleet Street. Best musical there is to date, all right? Argue with your mama, I don't care. I love Sweeney Todd. There's nothing much to say. So number 2 is American Psycho, and I actually watched it because I met this guy when I went out for Halloween, and he was dressed as Patrick Bateman. I think I was mostly just like a stan in my head, and then like the alcohol made me think, oh, he's Patrick Bateman. I love Patrick Bateman. I don't know. I can't explain it. Of course, once I sobered up, I was like, I need to watch American Psycho again. Like, it's been way too long. American Psycho 2, no. Mila Kunis, love her to death, but that was just not it, honey. Patrick Bateman, bro. Ah! I love American Psycho so much. It's so good. Number 3, of course, The Nightmare Before Christmas. I always watch that in October and in December. It's an October-December movie because it's about Halloween and Christmas, and the best duet, you know what I'm saying? Watched Hocus Pocus, another classic, another Halloween classic. Corpse Bride, I actually put beneath Hocus Pocus. I kind of feel like Hocus Pocus is a little more iconic than the Corpse Bride. I love Tim Burton films, and Corpse Bride is one of my favorites after Nightmare Before Christmas. Monster House. People forget about Monster House, bro. My freaking generation, we need to fight for the classics, bro. Bring the classics back. These kids don't know good TV. They don't. So the end of that list is The Craft, very classic film about witches. I just love it. I just love it. My last list is the shortest. Sorry this is so long. Sorry, okay? My last list is of the TV shows I watched in October, right? So number 1, we got Mr. Robot. Mr. Robot is the best show next to Atlanta ever for me. I recommend it to all my friends. Like, anybody who's ever talking about TV, I'm like, you seen Mr. Robot, bro? But have you seen Mr. Robot? Okay, that's cool, but Mr. Robot, have you seen it? Yeah, it's really good. Rami Malek, he's perfect, okay? Number 2, of course, is American Horror Story 1984. This season is growing on me. Of course, it cannot top Murder House and Coven for me. It's getting up to Apocalypse level and Cult level. Those are my secondary. There's so many seasons of American Horror Story, it makes no sense. Like, I have to really put them in 3 different groups of great, good, and just terrible. Why did that happen? And Hotel is in terrible. Why did that happen? Now number 3 is Room 104. I love Patrick Bryce, and I follow him on Twitter, and he was promoting it. He writes some of the episodes with the Duplass brothers, who are also great. Beautiful productions. It's all centered around this one room, this one motel room. I thought it was new because I had never even heard of it, but they're on their 3rd season now, and y'all are sleeping on it. Y'all need to watch it, bro. I kind of compare Room 104 to Black Mirror because, no episode is the same. You can come into the show watching any episode of any season, and you're not missing anything out of a story. There's no concrete storyline, and it almost touches on like being parts of alternate universes, which is always cool. It can actually probably be a sci-fi too. I think it might be under the sci-fi category too, as well as thriller. And then last, very last of all the lists, is Big Mouth. So racy, and they're so ahead of their time. Love the voice actors. Maya Angelou, you know, did I say Maya Angelou? Maya Rudolph, bro. John Mulaney, Nick Kroll. I'd say they're some of the best comedians of my generation's time. That's the end of my list, you guys. That's all I watched in October. Hope you gained something from that. Like, comment, and subscribe. Please, I'm begging you. Do it now, please.